Hi guys, welcome back to the channel. My name is Daniel and in front of me is the San Martin SN0116-G-B that I from here on out will call the San Martin Fun Fruits, because that's also what they call it on the website. Now, this case seems to be one of the biggest hits from San Martin. They use it for multiple models, multiple colorways, GMTs, dive watches, and I understand why. It's one of their original designs and it's really well built actually. But is it perfect? Let's get into it. Let's jump straight into the specs and specifications, shall we? So what we have here is a 39mm case, but I measured the bezel at 38mm, so it sticks in a bit, if that's a saying. we have a log to log of 46.5. We have, I believe, a sapphire insert, but I can't really find any good information on that one. But the bezel is 120 clicks. We have both C3 green light and BG WX1 blue light on this watch. We have two types of lume. You will see the lume shot soon. And it's running a NH35 movement where they have moved the date position down to the 6 o'clock. And we also have 200 meters of water resist. So now let's jump into the double lume. And here is that lume shot. Now you can see everything glows brightly and is well applied. The C3 on that Ministrack, I do love a lume Ministrack nowadays. It almost overpowers the minutes markers and hands, and that bezel insert has some nice lume but doesn't glow too brightly. The Ministrack seems to overpower, and here one can also see that when the date is at 6 o'clock and it's not a lumed date wheel, kind of becomes a hole. Looks a bit off for me. I know a lot of people don't mind it. I would have preferred not a color matched date window, and maybe even a lume date wheel would have looked awesome. What we also have is this gorgeous beads of rice bracelet, combination of brushing and polishing, vintage style, down to a clasp with on the fly micro adjust. You push down here and you can extend, and you can push back in. Works fine. I've gotten accustomed to this on the fly clasps now, so I miss them when I don't have them. Milled clasp, maybe a pressed upper, I don't really know, but it's nice quality, locks in nicely. Solid links, solid end links, no on quick release on that bracelet though. Screw in and fairly sterile. Case back doesn't bother me. I prefer when they put money into the watch head itself. Now, as you can see, the crystal is slightly hazy, as sapphire crystals can be sometimes, but it's not really bothersome, to be honest. And that orange is vibrant. Really cool. Now, the detail work on this watch is outstanding, to be honest, especially for a price you pay. I will link to the watch in the description down below. But all the fit and finishing is spot on. There, as you can see here, there's no rattle in between the lugs and the bracelet. Everything, the fit is perfect. One of the things that annoys me the most is poor fit in the end links and the lugs, and I do love Seikos, oddly, but this San Martin does the job perfectly. We have the combination of brushing and polished chamfered makes just raises the appeal even a bit more. And even though we don't have any quick release, we do have drilled lugs, so Removing the bracelet will be an easy task to do. Now look at the shape of that case. See how the profile looks really thin? Even though the case back protrudes quite a bit, you're lured into thinking that this watch is even slimmer than it is. With a crystal, it's almost 12 millimeters thick, and that's fairly thick for one of these watches these days. But the side profile makes you think it's super thin. The signed screwing crown is really easy to unscrew. It winds nicely. Well, it's an NH movement. No surprises here. And it bites back in really nice as well. Sometimes cheaper watches can be a bit fiddly for the crown to bite back in, but this does the job. Like a more expensive watch, actually, like the Christopher Wards I'm trying out and so on. Like a watch 3 times the price of it. So the rumored high quality of a San Martin holds true for this watch at least. And that piece of rice bracelet with female end links drapes almost is so... Look, you can fold it like like nothing. Makes it super comfortable to wear. All in all, it's just it's a pop of color, it's attention grabbing. I get a lot of compliments from other watch nerds, of course, not normal people, about this watch because it's just so orange. So, do we have any moans and niggles? Well, as usual, it's mostly just personal preference. I would have preferred the second hand to have another color. The green looks a bit odd. I think it's supposed to be like an orange with some like green inside of it and so on, but I would have preferred another color of that second hand. Also, I find it a bit strange that they didn't include quick release on the bracelet during the rumored high quality San Martin bracelets and so on, but it's a bit of a jungle with AliExpress watches. Some models have it, some don't, some are cheaper, some are more expensive. Different San Martin stores seems to have slight differences in their models and so on. The only other moan I can think of we will see when I put it on my roughly 17 centimeter wrist. As usual, I'm wearing the Van banner. Go check it out. Now the case is beautiful and vintage style, but look at the side profile again and you can see that it's fairly straight. The protruding case back, it lures your eyes like I said before, but the protruding case back in combination of the case shape makes it that the lugs are almost the same height as the case back, making it sit higher than you would expect on the wrist. Now it's a bit of a curvature on the lugs and you would expect it to hug the wrist nicely, but it sits actually way higher than you would expect. So for me, they have quite narrow wrists. They don't curve to the wrist the way I would have preferred it to do. Big issue? Nah, not at all. It's still comfortable, it still wears well, it still fits well and so on. But just a strange design decision. Oh yeah, the coin edge bezel. Great. No backplay. Just a great bezel action. Forgot about it. But that might be my 2 moans. Otherwise, for the price. Oh yeah. Another thing is the printing on the date wheel. It's not really super sharp. And it would have been awesome with like a loom date wheel, or at least that the printing itself was loomed. Because like you saw in the loom shot, it becomes almost like a black hole when you do the loom. So yeah, that's room for improvement as well. All in all, for the money, if you want an orange sub 40mm watch, I don't think you can, today anyway, do better. So go check them out in the link below. And that's it for this time, guys. Until next time, stay safe, take care, please like and subscribe, and bye bye.